Change of muscle mass between a person who have 5 years of weight training experience and a person who have not had training. Our team member is Kim Hong-lip and Ju Sang-jin, and I am Kim Hong-lip. Man's memory is taken charged by brain, but some physiologists insist that muscle also does it. They say the nucleus in muscle fiber has memory the time when they used to exercise. So if a person who sees exercise starts again, he gets his muscle mass faster than a person who have not any experience of training. For example, a person who did muscle mass increasing exercise have increased number of nucleus, and the nucleus conducts muscle protein synthesis. So in the exercise ceasing period, nucleuses do not decrease and remain to have a potential of muscle mass increase. Look at the picture. This picture shows difference of two men. Our team read a study on recovery of muscle mass in mice, which conducted in Norway. They conducted the exercise experiment on mice's hind limb for 3 weeks. After they conducted 2 weeks, hind limbs number of nucleus increased to 37%, and muscles mass too. And they ceased exercise for 3 months. After ceasing, although muscle size decreased for 40%, the number of nucleuses didn't change at all. So far, it's a moot point among the physiologists whether the muscle have a memory or not. So our team was wonder if a person who have had weight training before but sees recently would increase his muscle mass faster and when retrain, contrast to one who have not any experience of training. We made a hypothesis that a trained person will increase his muscle mass faster when retrained than a person who haven't had. Therefore, our team had a body experiment based on the theory that explained at first. Our team members are consist of two men. One ceased weight training for less than 6 months, but have had training for 5 years regularly. In his case, according to the theory, would have premium nucleuses in muscle fibers, and the other didn't have any experience of weight training, and according to the theory, on the contrary, don't have much nucleuses. Two men have a similar lifestyle, body frame, height, age, so it would be definite to figure out the change between them. Each member of our team did muscle exercise equally for 12 weeks, and if our hypothesis was right, the first one will increase much more muscle mass. To identify whether the muscle memory do exist, we did muscle exercise equally for 12 weeks. The history of test subject body value and exercise experience are here. Subject A have had been training for 5 years regularly, but she is recent 6 months. 2 years ago, A's weight was 76 kg and total starting muscle weight was 38 kg. It was 50% of body weight. Subject B haven't had any experience of exercise, and recent 7 years, body weight was almost same for 78 kg, and total skeletal muscle 32 kg. It was 41% of body weight. Each hour team trained 2 hours per day for 12 weeks together. The exercise amount was exactly the same. And before start, the body value including height were almost same too. Every 2 weeks, we measured our body value through in-body check machine in university. It checks one's weight, body fat, and total skeletal muscle weight. Exercises are conducted with 4 parts: the chest, shoulder, back, and lower body. Each day, the subjects conducted 1 part. The kind exercise and its target muscle part are as in the followings. Every day, subject did 1 part of them. Each exercise is conducted 10 to 15 times per one set. 5 sets are complete. Rest time between the sets is 2 to 5 minutes. Exercise's weight level is weight that subject cannot affordable when he did 10 to 15 times. This is subject A's data, who have trained for 5 years. In the case of A, for 12 weeks, he can increase weight by 3 kg, and it is 4% of initial weight, and total skeletal muscles increased by 3.8 kg, and it's 11.1% of initial weight. On the contrary, body fat was decreased by 3.1%. The change pattern in graph of measured body value were smooth and regular. This is weight training non-experienced person body data. In case of non-experienced, the B, for 12 weeks weight was decreased by 4%. Skeletal muscles increased by 5.2%, and body fat was decreased by 3.0%. Measured body value change shows that weight graph was decreased regularly for 12 weeks. Skeletal muscle graph was rapidly increased till the first 2 weeks. It was 40% of total growth. After that, it increased slightly. Body fat was less increased by first 2 weeks, and after that, it decreased regularly. When comparing the values between A and B, skeletal muscles are increased in both two subjects, but A was increased twice as much than B. Body fat loss was similar in two cases. In case of total body, A was increased by 4%. On the contrary, B were decreased by 4%. For 12 weeks, experiment subjects conducted the same kind of exercise, same time, but the result was different. Test subject A got 2 times more muscles than B. Also, he got total weight 2 times more than B. However, in body fat score, there was no significant difference between A and B. Both A and B got most rapid growth rate at first 2 weeks. For the first 2 weeks, A's skeletal muscle increased by 1.1 kg, and B was 0.7 kg. Each of it was 28% and 40% of entire growth. But after that, in case of A, he got constant and regular growth after 2 weeks. But in B, he got steep rising curve at first 2 weeks. But after that, the rising curve couldn't recover and was constantly kept lower grade of rising curve. In A, exercise not only decreased body fat, but also stimulated increase of muscle mass. On the contrary, in B, exercise was a factor of body fat loss rather than a muscle growth factor. But as you see, both of them got similar decrease of body fat by 3% for 12 weeks. We could know exercise have the same effect on losing fat on both A and B. Therefore, our team figured when we retrained a man who had 5 years of muscular exercise increases his skeletal muscles more rapidly than a man who didn't. These are the references.